MedBix Webcast is a new kind of healthcare media channel to break the silo mentality and foster interdisciplinary thinking. Our mission is to fill that gap and to create a curiosity through different lenses, tapping the passion that guided the historical figures in medicine and bringing present-day groundbreaking research to the front lines. We interview physicians and leaders in the industry about present-day healthcare challenges on our live programming. Welcome to the MedBix Webcast. This is Urbana-Champaign, the host. I'm not Albert Einstein, but I'm pretty good. But anyway, we have a guest, supposed to have a guest, Dr. Krishna Tangella. He had some emergency came in. He is a regular guest for us. He is always constant contributor. Dovmed.com is a medical encyclopedia. He runs on the web. It is a very interesting. You should go and visit the Dovmed.com. Dr. Krishna Tangella is the founder of that organization. He's a professor of clinical pathology. We're going to get him soon, but unfortunately, he cannot make it. He may join in the middle of our programming, but or at the end, if possible. So I'm waiting for anybody to join. But I want to tell you something about this program that I am doing. It is during the pandemic, I designed a daily wear for medicine.com designs for the doctors, science, medicine, mathematics, all together, put together. I created daily wear for medicine.com. I created clothes for the medical students, doctors' bags. You can put these ones. It creates a curiosity. What is the medicine? What kind of things in the medicine? The historical figures from almost the 2nd century AD onwards. Who are the doctors that constantly present and did the wonders for humanity? So I started designing the clothes. There is a wonderful lady. Her name is Jennifer from Omaha. I never met her before. We met online, and then she was a constant contributor for this book and my clothes. She was every day for a whole year. She showed up. I can't go here enough. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much for that unbelievable contribution you made. You are part of the MedBix. But she was there for 2 years nonstop, 1 year. So she was. After that, I finished the book. And I went and published it in the Amazon. It's called Science is Not a Subject, Science Must Be a Lifestyle. It's all about the stories, about the historical figures, how they contributed. So I don't talk about history. I talk about historical and the present day, even the groundbreaking research, what is going on. I bring them all the way to the top and connect the dots. When you connect the dots, you have a very powerful resources. You can tell the story and all those things. In fact, I will play that. Maybe that I don't know whether I have that. Yeah, I'm going to play that. So let us watch that. What I did. This is the video I'm going to play and watch it. So please, it is very interesting. Okay.
Science is real. We brought vaccines with unprecedented speed to face the present global pandemic. But it is not possible without the help of great giants of science and medicine from the past. We are retelling their stories through our patented designs that can be worn on scrubs, t-shirts, printed on conference bags, and endless other promotional materials. Daily Wear for Medicine is the first ever of its kind to create curiosity in medicine through visual art. We at MedBix are celebrating unsung heroes of the past who made enormous contributions to the field of medicine through our unique campaign called Daily Wear for Medicine. This is Jennifer, Vice President of Branding at MedBix. Microsoft founder Bill Gates says, reading about history of science and learning about scientists of the past are an integral part of understanding and appreciating the true science.
If you want to learn science, reading the history of scientists and the story of scientists about when they were confused and what tools or insights allowed them to make the progress they make. So you have the timeline, or you have the map, or you have the branches of science and what's known and what's not known. So incremental knowledge is so much easier to maintain in a rich way.
Talking about scientists, Marie Curie certainly is on top of the list. Despite public shaming about her affair with a colleague, she won the Nobel Prize twice. She designed the first ever medical mobile X-ray trailer called Petite Curie. It saved countless lives during World War I and subsequent wars. She was a prolific scientist and a true feminist of her time. C.V. Raman, scientist from India, and his discovery, called Raman scattering, is fast becoming an invaluable instrument of a diagnostic tool in medical imaging. His discovery is omnipresent in every area of medicine. Paul Dirac of England scribbled a mathematical equation that paved the way for present-day medical wonder called positron emission tomography. It is referred to as PET scan, which is widely used in detecting tumors and cancers with the utmost precision. History might have forgotten Dr. Yella Pragada Subbaraw, but his contributions to the world of medicine is hidden everywhere. This Indian-born medical scientist created the first ever chemotherapy drug called methotrexate that saved countless children with leukemia. Now, the drug is being widely used for other types of cancers. It is also used in the treatment of ectopic pregnancies, rheumatoid arthritis, and several other conditions. He is instrumental in creating the first broad-spectrum antibiotic drug called tetracycline. Let us bring this iconic man, Dr. Yella Pragada Subbaraw, who comes from a small town from the state of Andhra Pradesh, India, to the front lines of world history through Daily Wear for Medicine t-shirts. With extraordinary data analytical skills, might have been known as a lady with a lamp in the history books. She was the first woman to use population health analytics to fight infectious diseases. That is Florence Nightingale. British-born aristocrat Florence Nightingale championed the welfare of wounded British soldiers during the Crimean War. She put forward a detailed sanitation infrastructure plan for India to prevent mosquito-bitten malaria and other communicable diseases. She is a brainy mathematician who happened to be a nurse with unbounded compassion to fellow humans. We at Daily Wear for Medicine honor Florence Nightingale through this t-shirt representing every nurse and nursing student following their footsteps of the Nightingale Pledge. We at MedBricks are bringing these remarkable stories through visual art with our patented designs called Daily Wear for Medicine. T-shirts, conference bags, and other forms of merchandise are available through popular online networks. Creating visual art is one of the defining characteristics of the human species. We hope it creates awareness and reiterates confidence in the field of medicine, particularly in times of crisis we are in. We hope you join us in this journey in paying tribute to the contributions made by scientists and physicians alike. Thank you for watching. You can wear it, carry it, and give it.
Hello, just give me that a minute. I am inviting somebody guest. Just give me 1 second, sir. All of you. Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer is a wonderful contribution to me. My son wants to join. I send him a link. Is sometimes is interesting. But anyway. Just 1 second. Yeah, okay. But anyway, that is a Dr. Krishna Tangella. As Jennifer, thank you so much, Jennifer. You came to visit me, and thank you. It is a wonderful. It is a pleasure. How sometimes technology is great. That I met her for 2 years, worked on the book, and then we during the pandemic, and then after the pandemic, she came to see me, and then it's a wonderful, really, thank you, Jennifer. It is a truly an honor to work with you. Um, the second thing is that I have so many guests, the hundreds of guests appeared on my show as several distinguished physicians and CEOs of several companies and hospitals. Thank you all. It is truly an honor. The show is what I want to do. The show, what is the purpose of the show is to give the one of the things is misled by to the physicians is that physicians is that you can physicians that a lot of people think that if you go for MBA you can understand the innovations, you can easily do understand innovations and do it everything. It's not true. Really, to understand innovations you need to understand physics, mathematics, and processes. Like the MBA kind of things, it helps you to understand the take efficiency of the system. Sometimes it exploits the system, but it doesn't innovate any. It doesn't help that much in the innovation side. In the innovation side, you need to have a mathematics, at least exposure. You don't have to be expert in all of them. You need to understand what exists there. For example, we all come to know what is a epidemiology field is in the population health. That was a Florence Nightingale was doing 200 years ago. So here we have to know all those things. So a little bit of exposure to them gives you a polymath, new kind of polymath physicians. Now artificial intelligence is taking over. So then you need to know what is your role. It is not that AI cannot replace the doctors, but AI can the doctors with the AI will replace the doctors with the don't care about AI. That is going to be the future, no question about that. So you have to be exposed. The AI is a one tool, but you need to understand the conceptual backgrounds of all of them. What is the blockchain technology? Why the privacy is important? Why user experience? What is the human experience from the care journey, from beginning of the patient, from beginning to the end, how they feel, and the consciousness. What is the observer? How the patient feels about it. All of them are new kind of techniques available. It's not just abstract concepts. There are new techniques. You can use the techniques to understand much more clear. So my program is dedicated to expose those kind of fields and give you some background in it. That is my purpose of this whole thing. But anyway, I'm going to present to you. This is a very interesting topic today. I'm going to do last attempt on my show that I don't know why he cannot join. My son is trying to join. He said that Ramesh, I send you. Please join. My son's name is Ramesh. That's not a good name today in Silicon Valley because Ramesh Balwani is the guy, Theranos, part of the Theranos went to jail today. Theranos is a big, this is the problem in Silicon Valley. I am in California. I tell you something about it. It is still, you're in the middle of the field. These IT people don't understand technology. The technology people don't understand healthcare. Healthcare people don't have the clue what is IT is. We need something in between that we need to understand both fields fairly well, and there are very few. I'm certainly one of them. Not to boast, but you need to embrace people like us rather than IT guys talking nonsense about healthcare, which is sometimes it doesn't make any sense. And the doctors don't have clue about they think they know about the technology, something they learn from the nephews, but that is not enough. You need to be exposed to yourself and feel that. Blockchain technology, what is the blockchain technology? It works like a consciousness. So what is that relationship with the blockchain technology? Why it is immutable? Why you cannot break it? So Bitcoin is not a blockchain technology. Bitcoin is a byproduct of something that messed up byproduct of the blockchain technology. Blockchain technology, mathematically unbreakable. It is works on truly democratic. If you understand the miners, the democratic process is a true democracy at work on digital platform. That is a blockchain. Consciousness is why observer and observer. Observe. It's a big concept in physics is observer and observer. Who is observer? Observer is a doctor. Observer is a patient. There is a relationship. Observer has the feelings and have a mental mind of its own. You have to understand that mind's of own. Observer has to create, has to understand the observed. What is he observing? That is important as a physician. The third one is the care journey. A lot of people don't know how they come to the doctor's office. They have to call Uber if they can't drive. They can't see sometimes. They're disabled. They're mentally challenged. They have other problems. They cannot come to the doctor's office. So many things. They have to call their children to set up an appointment and come down. There's a lot of traffic and frustrations on the way. And come to the doctor's office. And then sometimes doctor's office is the front front desk people are rude. I experienced it myself. So it makes them much more worse, that process. Then you go to the exam room. Doctor may be nice and they do all the job, but sometimes they're so busy they cannot explain everything. It's all HMOs and how many patients you see a day. Then patient come back and they write a prescription. He has to go to the pharmacy. Pharmacist on break. Pharmacy is closed, maybe too far from there, and they pick up the medicines. They say they come down, and then you drop off the slip there, and then come back and pick up the medicine tomorrow, and then another trip, and then go home. And with the frustration, you can't solve the problem, and it's a lot of frustration. That is called a care journey. We have to address that. The 20%, only 20% of the problem medical care is 20%. 80% is social determinant, environmental factors. I'm going to do a special program on lead. You will be surprised what is in the making. How the humanity, how the politicians, some of the scientists even are sold to destroy the lead, for example, to the environment. Do you know the lead content is 1,000 times more than the mummies that 400 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. 1,000 times more. There is no way the lead content spin into the atmosphere. We put them. Leaded gas is created a lot of pollution in the world. It went into the human bodies because human body does not know how to discriminate how to distinguish between the lead and calcium. So it cannot get rid of lead. Even a small amounts. So you see the staggering number of autism spectrum, you see, because of that one factor that is, they say, related to lead poisoning in children. Not only we're destroying the next generation with the environment, you have to really, really pay attention to all these things. So my program is dedicated to that. I hope you pay attention to all of them. Thank you. But today's program is a really mind-blowing for the 2nd century, right after Jesus Christ was born, 200 years after his death. This scientist, this doctor was born. I'm going to talk about his story today. His name is Ji Hong. This 3rd century Chinese physician saved millions of people, but I'm going to talk about him in a second. Vietnam War, everybody knows about Vietnam War. Total number of people killed is 3.8 million in Vietnam War between 1955 and 1975. We don't know the exact estimation, but estimated total number were killed in 3.8 million people. Think about that. It makes no sense, that kind of brutality. 60,000 Americans sacrificed their lives for this war, Vietnam War. So why I'm talking about Vietnam War, you will know in a second. So there is 2 parts of Vietnam, southern Vietnam and northern Vietnam. South Vietnam is supported by United States. and the northern Vietnam supported by China. It's basically indirect war between the China and the United States. So they both were supplying arms and ammunitions, all of them together, with the both of them together. It was a war between China and the United States, and it was indirect war between them. So his name is Mao Zedong. He is one of the chairman Mao. He came to power. He was born in 1893. He was a he was a lawyer. He was a librarian, lawyer. He tried all of them. He didn't succeed anything. So can you believe that this guy is a lawyer, brutal dictator? He's a lawyer and a librarian. I can't imagine. He's the founder of the Chinese Communist Party. Mao Zedong started a cultural revolution, brutalized their own population. He sent a lot of he hated all intellectuals. He put them doctors, scientists into the rural farming labors, hard labor. He was killing them, beheading them without any mercy. He killed millions of people that opposed him or any kind of a disapproval for him. Okay. So Mao Zedong came to the Cultural Revolution. He started in 1966, 1976. He died in. So his revolution went on for a long time. So he met United States President Richard Nixon and also met the Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. He met both of them. He promised to them, "Oh, everything is going to be good. We are going to support you. There is no war. We like peace." The moment they left the town, he started a war big time. This guy has no. He's a clever, cunning guy, Chairman Mao. So he ditched both of them. He called India, China, bye and brothers. And the moment he said that he invaded Indian border and Kashmir area. Then in the China Tibet area. So in the United States, he said that Richard Nixon, go home. We're all done. There's no problem. And he started sending people to the Vietnam. So he's a most unreliable leader of China at that time. So North Vietnam, but the southern Vietnam, United States has air power, unbelievable air power. North Vietnam was edge of surrender. They're going to lose the war. They were about to lose the war in the North Vietnam through the American air power and everything, and American technology and everything. It is really good. So it is almost they were winning the war. But something strange happened. Malaria. Malaria became a number one enemy. What happened was the reason China was losing. China is supporting North Vietnam and the America is supporting southern Vietnam. China is losing Vietnamese and North Vietnamese people, and Chinese army, probably Chinese soldiers are there. We don't know yet. They were all dying because of malaria. You know that he didn't the Mao Zedong, he never liked about scientists or doctors, but malaria is a problem. He doesn't want to lose the war. It's a parasite. It's a mosquito-borne. Malaria is a mosquito-borne. Female mosquitoes carry. It's called a genus Plasmodium. It is a parasite. It creates a fever, tiredness, vomiting, headaches, even death. A lot of people die for malaria. Everybody in India, sometimes one time or other time, got the malaria. In fact, it's a parasitic infection. It's it can be easily treated if there's medicines there, but there are no medicines at the time. So a lot of people are dying. So that's why Mao Zedong doesn't want to lose the war. His number one enemy became malaria. They convinced him, all his military generals convinced him, we need to find a solution, a treatment for malaria. Otherwise, we are going to lose the war in North Vietnam and the Vietnam. So what he did, he started a secret military project. It's called Project 523. In 1967, 523 means May 23. He started this project called Project 523 to find cure for malaria in 1967. He hired a brilliant Chinese traditional medicine woman She is a Beijing University graduate, medical university graduate of School of Pharmacy. But the pharmacy means they're teaching the traditional Chinese herbal medicine and all those things. Her name is Tu Yuyu. Still, she's alive, believe me or not. She was 100 years old now, still alive. I want to do the T-shirt on her, so she's still alive. I cannot do it. So Tu Yuyu was hired by Mao Zedong to head the project of Project 523, secret military project to find a cure for the malaria. So the problem is there is a let us keep the story behind this 1 minute. I want to tell you a different gentleman here. His name is Ji Hong. He's a physician and a pharmacologist, born right after 300 years after Jesus Christ. He was born in China. He was a Chinese physician. He's a linguist. He's a true polymath, like philosopher, politician, and a writer. He was writing children's stories, believe me or not. So he was everything. He was a military commander actually for his province, and then he was waging war in the next provinces to get the books. He loved the knowledge. He wanted to acquire the libraries, so he declared war. I love him for that. That's a definitely good one to do. So traditional Chinese medicine is 2,000-year-old medicine. It is based on three basic faculties of the medicine: acupuncture, the pins that Western people know. You go to the pins and some points. They use a holographic idea of the image of the human being, and then they put the punctures, they put the pins. Tai Chi is a kind of a posturing mechanism that will solve the problems of Tai Chi. Tai Chi is the exercise program. That is a good one. And then herbal medicine based on plants and then animal bones and animal meat and all those things. These are all three areas of traditional Chinese medicine it was based on. So, but the Ji Hong wrote the first aid kit for the humanities. First record of intermittent fevers, he mentioned about it was a malaria actually, but he called intermittent fevers. He wrote a solution for the intermittent fevers. In the handbook for prescription for emergencies, he wrote a small handbook. You can put in the sleeves, that's what they say. I don't know the Chinese word exactly, but he wrote a book, first handheld book for the Chinese handbook for the prescriptions for the emergencies. Interesting, right? So that was the intermittent. What he did was, Xinghao, there's a sweet wormwood, is just a wild grass. You put them in a Xinghao in the water, warm water, and treating the malaria. And they grow in all over the place, but Mount Laofu is quite a bit, I think, extensively. Laofu, a mountain in China, Laofu. I think I hope I'm saying right. Excuse me if I'm not. But Xinghao is the sweet wormwood, is a wild grass. He took that and then put them into the water and they extract that and then giving to the patients, and is for the intermittent fevers, which is a malaria. He doesn't know at the time. It is not called malaria at that time. So Chinese medical scholars, they know that intermittent fever is a malaria. They recognize that, but they were doing something mistranslated his work. One of the mistranslated is that tea or some kind of hot water, put this Shengbao in the hot water and give it to these patients. Is not curing the malaria. Is not effectively working. See, she understood the real writings of the mistranslation. Dr. Tu Yuyu, she is a medical doctor in the Eastern sense, in the Chinese doctor. So she took that what he said, Ji Hong, you take the Xinghao, the grass, put in the warm water an extract of the whole night, keep it there, and give that water to the patients. That's what he read, what he has written. They mistranslated into put the hottest water and the boiling water and put there, and then give it to the hot water like hot tea, and it doesn't work. So it did not work. So she figured out that is exactly what he is doing. So she went on further research, and she extracted the actual compound from Shingal. In the It's called artemisinin compound. It's a molecule. It is wrung out from the warm water, and he did that in 1972. Clinical trials were extremely successful. It was a huge success. That's a validation for the traditional Chinese medicine. Until that, Western medicine did not even ignore the Chinese medicine. That was the first validation came from the Chinese herb, the Xinghua, to the artemisinin compound. That's they identified artemisinin is the one who's curing the malaria. So then that was a big win for Mao. Mao Zedong, crazy. He killed millions of people. So what he did was, so that's one thing he did, good thing about the Project 523. At least he gave a hope to the humanity for the malaria part of it. The fall of Soviet, the malaria was handled well, and then fall of Saigon, April 29th, 1975. Hastily, Americans retracted from United States. You know the famous picture. Sorry, from Vietnam, American soldiers uh, retracted from the Vietnam. That is a famous picture. So that was a very big psychological blow for the United States. But Chinese Benkao Gangmu, I think it's called. It is an actual Chinese traditional medicine books, collection of books. So they gave a license to, after Mao Zedong died, then after that they gave a license to Novartis to produce the malaria drug, that is anti-artemisinin. So they produce, Novartis produce in large quantities, and still they use that combo medicine for malaria even now. So that is a huge success of the Project 523. 523 is abandoned after. So in actually 1982, the project was abandoned. 523. Dr. Tu Yu, non-Western medical doctor. She didn't learn anything in Western medicine. She won the Nobel Prize in medicine in 2015. She won the Nobel Prize in 2015 in medicine for the invention of the artemisinin compound. She also won the Lasker Debaki Award, one of the most prestigious medical awards she won. She came to the United States. She visited around the country. She was already old at the time. She was tired, but she came down. She's 100 years old now, still alive. So Ji Hong actually she thanked she attributed the credit to Ji Hong, that what he wrote. In fact, we all owe him. So Ji Hong there is a village there, Mount Lufu. He was a little bit eccentric guy. He was practicing in a rural town, provided really a true physician. He was providing to the care people who badly needed in those mountainous areas near Tibet and the Mongolian areas, I think. I don't know. People can. So he was practicing there. He was he he lived long enough to really serve the people there. Free clinic. He was doing a lot of clinical trials. In fact, there is in Zhejiang province, there is a GE village. There is a GE peak, that's called mountain. He's a very folk hero. Everybody knows his name. He's a very popular guy in that area. But what I was impressed by him in third century physician, he gave what is the first scientific method it is. He wrote this one: where the mystery is present, joy is infinite. Where the mystery has departed, efficacy is exhausted, and the spirit disappears. Ji Hong, he said. That is the first scientific method we know is clearingly all the mysteries, the superstitions. It was dispelling, is the spirit disappears when you dispel this, when you apply the scientific methods. Is truly hero, in my view. So thank you for listening. She is still saving millions of lives. Novartis is still producing that medicine, artemisinin compound, and particularly in sub-Saharan countries, in India and other countries where the mosquito-borne illness. So what they're doing is now there is a lot of things going on in the malaria area. Bill Gates Foundation extended their funding to infertility program for the mosquitoes, female, because their female mosquitoes were the born, they are the ones causing the malaria. So you can infertile them, and then you can somehow they cannot carry that parasite. So that's a, but it was opposed by a lot of people. It is a lot of genetic mutations, or that we don't know yet. It's a long trials, and it is a serious ethics concern. And there's other ways that we can prevent probably malaria. So they're all working on all those things. Still is a very dangerous disease. It's a threat to humanity, but we owe a big time to this second century Chinese physician and a pharmacologist, Ji Hong. So thank you for listening. That's why I produced a shirt on his name, Ji Hong. That is my shirt. Is on the Chinese medicine. You see it on the center, Ji Hong, and the right side that's a traditional Chinese medicine. Left side is the Shingao, that automation tree. So thank you for listening. All my this is all. I hope and nobody joined with me. I'm going to play music if you don't mind. I like to play um, a music. I'm going to you know um, because we have time. I wanted to play some music. So let me, if I can upload it, I'll see that if I can upload it, so I can play music on the. Um, I'm going to play. It may take a couple of minutes, guys. If you got to be you got to be a little bit of a uh, just patient with me while he's doing that. Okay. So let me come back to you guys. Um, I really, by studying physics, I have a master's in physics and spent years and years in healthcare, traveled around the country, understood different practices, and I placed several hundreds of doctors around the country in underserved areas. Because of me, there are people who got saved. I'm not saying that I am saving them, but I really placed underserved areas. I went to Bradshaw, West Virginia. There's no running water even in that town, in that village. From all the way to Anchorage, Alaska, I put a cardiologist there. You can name it in the Central Valley of California, to Alabama, to Georgia, Florida, South Carolina. I put everywhere these doctors and underserved. Some of the OB patients we used to see that ultrasound. We used to offer ultrasound testing. They're having in rural Georgia. This is one of the most advanced in the country. They didn't even know they were having twins until 7th, 8th month, because they cannot afford the ultrasounds. We have something seriously wrong with the healthcare system. That's why I'm doing this. My father was a teacher and a doctor in a small village in India. Like a Ji Hong. He provided on a bicycle a lot of care for people. He's a brilliant doctor and he's a teacher. There was no doctors in my hometown. So they did that, and he was the only one can read and understand English, can read and write in English. So he became a doctor. He's a brilliant. Actually, He was a vivacious reader. So these kind of people, unsung heroes of science and medicine, we cannot forget. These are the true heroes of medicine. We need the doctors like that who provide a true care for patients. That's a noble profession. The preachers, teachers, if we abuse that position, that's a problem right there. That's the problem we are having. I always talk about Plato's philosophy. I love Plato. Plato is a Western. He proposed it as a Bhagavad. He proposed he wrote a philosophy called theory of forms, which is the Bhagavad Gita of Western philosophy, the Western Bhagavad Gita. He gave a roadmap to the humanity, particularly you can apply to the healthcare even. What he said was there are two worlds: world of ideals, the principles, world of objects. So if you apply, what do you mean by that is world of ideals means highest principles, taking care of sick, understanding the pain, be compassionate. These are the highest principles of the theory of that's world of ideals. World of objects, hospitals, doctors, nurses, then clinics, then insurance companies, politicians, all of them are objects. Administrators. What he said was, these are the principles are real. Objects are not real. They seem to be real. However, they seem real, they're not real. They are the shadows of the objects. They're shadows of the principles. These are objects. These objects. So what is happening is there's shadows. That means if you're looking at the mirror, you see a shadow. Shadow is telling you how to move. That's what is happening in the healthcare field. The principles, these objects are telling how to move the principles of the care. That is seriously wrong. We have all these people to serve the principles, they don't need to dictate the principles of the care, the principles of care. That's seriously wrong there. That is where the fundamental problem is. You can talk about all these things, MBAs and all those things. If you miss that part, you miss the entire structure. You can easily build the mathematical structures, algorithms, and everything if the philosophical principles are correct. That philosophy is missing in the Plato. So Plato said that the object should not tell the subject how to move. In the mirror, the image in the mirror is telling you how you should move. It doesn't make any sense. That is what is insurance companies, the administrators, HR, all these managed care companies telling how the care principles should be. It doesn't matter. If you apply these principles, it's a very natural. One thing comes out. If you apply mathematics to it, you know what comes out is a patient-centered care system. Period. There's no other go. So that's what we need to do. Patient-centered care system is a natural byproduct of the Plato's principles. The highest principles is started the first. What are the care principles of? It's not a socialism. Not this is people. Both sides, the people fight. Or socialism, who pays for it, who doesn't pay for it, all this nonsense. This is the first care. Caring is the number one principle. So we are missing. He also gave us one interesting concept in the theory of forms. He said that there should be, whenever there is interaction between the objects, the principles and the objects, there must be only one interaction and one outcome. The outcome has to be clearly defined. When a doctor or a clinic or hospital is serving, it has to be, disease protocols has to be clear cut. There is no second thoughts. That is what Plato was talking about. When there is an interaction, one interaction creates a one principle, one outcome. One interaction, one outcome. So thank you for listening. I'm going to, if I can play music of, I'm going to play. So I'm going to talk about Ethiopia, the human civilization. I'm going to play with Ethiopian music. So I'm going to introduce you some music, which way we all came from. That beginning of our humanity and human civilization starts from here. You believe it or not, there was a plenty of evidence. If you don't believe, but I'm going to play that, and you're going to. This is the where the civilization started. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining.